It's high time I dispelled two very strange and persistent myths about Snap-on tools. Myth number one, all Snap-on tools are made in the USA. And myth number two, Snap-on tools never break. Well, fanboys, run and put your thunder jackets on, crawl into your safe spaces, and hug your knees. It's about to get real. First, let's talk about Snap-on tools being made in the US. Does Snap-on manufacture in the USA? Yes, they do. They have a lot of manufacturing capacity in the USA. But when you say all Snap-on tools are made in the US, that's just plain wrong, because they manufacture in over 11 locations in other countries. So while it might be true that maybe most of what's sold in the US is made in the US, the fact is a lot of Snap-on's tools are not made in the US at all. And we can look to an interview that Snap-on CEO Nick Pinchuk gave to CNBC back in March of 2022. In it, Pinchuk says, one of the advantages Snap-on has always had is we tend to make in the markets where we sell. So 80% of what we sell off the trucks here in America is made right here in America. It's a very interesting quote because it is strangely specific, suspiciously specific. When somebody says what he said, 80% of what we sell off the trucks in America is made in America. What he's not saying is 80% of Snap-on tools are made in America. He never said that. He never said that 80% of what's sold in America is made in America. He just said 80% of what's sold on the trucks is made in America. And more specifically, he doesn't say which division of Snap-on that is. Snap-on Industrial is the parent company. It owns Snap-on Tools and 28 other brands. So is he talking about Snap-on Industrial? Is he talking about Snap-on Tools? What's he talking about? He doesn't specify. So we have to be very careful when we look at information like that to try to distill what the facts are and what the actual truth is. While we may be able to dig deeper and find out, the fact is it would be difficult because to get that kind of information, I'm sure it's held pretty close to the vest, and they may not be able to disclose that. There might be non-disclosure agreements that were signed by people in the know, and they're not allowed to say. Plus, it works to Snap-on advantage. It works to Snap-on's advantage if you think 80% of what they make is made in the U.S. Because like Harley-Davidson motorcycle, Snap-on relies a lot on myth and lore and legend and people's positive, although incorrect, perceptions about the company. They'd be silly to change that because it's how they sell their tools and it's how they market their stuff. So they're happy to let these myths persist when it shows them in a positive light. And when the CEO says stuff like this, it gears your thinking in a particular direction toward a particular conclusion, which may be incorrect, but again, works to their advantage. So let's take a look at what other manufacturing capacity Snap-on has. On their website, they have a global presence page that has two columns for manufacturing facilities. One is the facilities in the U.S., and those are Elkmont, Alabama, Conway, Arkansas, City of Industry, California, San Jose, California, Tucson, California, Carroll Stream, Illinois, Algona, Iowa, Louisville, Kentucky, Rochester Hills, Michigan, West Lebanon, New Hampshire, Murphy, North Carolina, Elizabethton, Tennessee, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But there's a lot of non-U.S. manufacturing locations that they list too. Argentina, Belarus, Brazil, 2 locations in China, 2 locations in England, France, Hungary, 2 locations in Italy, Portugal, 3 locations in Spain, and 4 locations in Sweden. So they have a higher number of non-U.S. manufacturing locations than they do U.S. locations. Is it fair to say that some of the products that are made overseas are imported into the U.S. for sale on U.S. soil? Absolutely it is. It would be silly if they didn't do that because I'm sure in companies, specifically China, the cost of labor is much lower, as well as the cost of complying to government regulation. We all know that the U.S. has a high cost of compliance for all kinds of workplace safety and environmental regulations, and that's not the case in other countries. So if it's less expensive for them to comply to regulations and the labor rates are lower and they can still turn out a quality product, they're going to opt to do that. And they have a lot of different locations where they can source their tools from, even if it's a non-US location, and they're still sourcing it from themselves. So it's interesting to see how this whole picture works, because I'm sure US locations also export to these other countries for Snap-on to sell. It all depends on how they're structuring their markets and how they're structuring their retail and their dealer channels. Now, there's another clue that we have about what's made in the US and what's not made in the US. I had a customer ask me a couple of weeks ago if I could help him out with his broken Snap-on neck light, and that's this light right here. And it always seemed to me that this light was made by Easy Red, but I was never sure because it's a slightly different design. So in an effort to help him, I called Snap-on and I told them that we had a broken light, and I said, A, is it covered under warranty? And if not, can you help me out with getting one repaired? And they said, no, we can't because we don't make the light. Easy Red does. You'll have to call them. So they gave me Easy Red's number, which I already had because they're a supplier of mine. And I called Easy Red and I told them what the situation was. And they said, we will, as a goodwill replacement, send you a new one. So this product that says Snap-on, that came to me in a Snap-on box, was sent by Easy Red. Here's the invoice. Easy Red shipping it to us. And what is it? It's a Snap-on Tools branded rechargeable neck light. Folks, this is the way the business works. The industry has been like this for a long time. Now, you might be wondering, well, maybe they sent it to Snap-on and Snap-on sent you the light. No, they didn't. They sent it directly as proven by the invoice. But let's take it one step further. You can also look on Snap-on's website and see all the agreements they have for different suppliers. They have a suppliers page on their website and all the requirements for doing business with Snap-on. And you can see in those red links, if you click on any of those, there's a ton of information about what you need to do to be a Snap-on supplier. So if you are a manufacturer and you want to make tools with a Snap-on name on them, contact Snap-on, complete this process, and you're on your way to becoming a supplier for Snap-on. Conversely, if Snap-on knows that you manufacture something and say, hey, we like that product, can you make them for us? Then they'll contact a company like Easy Red, and Easy Red will say, sure, and they'll make this product for Snap-on and then send it to them. And it says right on the back of this box that it's made in China. And the box itself is manufactured by Easy Red, because when you dig a little deeper, you can see that they have a packaging and labeling guidelines section of their website, so that Easy Red is going to make this box. They're going to understand how to use the logo, the white space, all the design elements that go into the packaging, and Easy Red is going to make the whole thing soup to nuts in their manufacturing facility and ship it stateside for sale under the Snap-on name on Snap-on trucks. That's called third-party branding, and it's been prevalent for a long time, not just in the tool industry, but in a lot of different industries, because there's only so many manufacturers. Not every company is going to make their own factory and tool up and sell stuff, when there's plenty of other companies that will do it for them. Now, we can look at this as an example on how tools don't break. Everybody knows that if you use a Snap-on tool, it's going to break just like every other branded tool. To think otherwise means, A, you don't use Snap-on tools, or B, you are so blinded by your loyalty to the brand and the company that you may not even realize when you broke something. I don't know. It's just a silly statement to make, to say that stuff doesn't break. Now, A, I know stuff breaks because I got this replaced under warranty for a guy, but B, when I was calling Snap-on about that, and I talked to the customer service rep, he's taking my information and punching it into the computer, and we're having some small talk, and I asked him how things were going, and he said, oh man, he says, we're flat out busy. And I said, is it always like that for you? Do you have up and down times during the year? He goes, no, man. He says, we're slammed all the time. My whole department, all we do day in, day out, is process warranty claims. That seems to dispel that rumor that tools don't break. Of course they do. And Snap-on's happy to tell you that. They have an entire department of people dedicated to processing claims for broken tools. It's all there. You just have to open your eyes and see it. I don't want to take away anyone's love for Snap-on. I'm not trying to bash them at all. I think they're an excellent company. They're very profitable. They've been doing great business for many, many years. But understand what it is they're doing, how they do it, learn a little bit about what information you may have or have been told, and question it because it may not be true. And it just helps you make better buying decisions because let's say the only reason you buy from Snap-on is you think all their stuff is made in the US and you're willing to pay that extra money. Well, what if you got a product like the neck light, which isn't made in the US, or lots of other products that aren't made in the US? Are you willing to spend the extra money then? It's a lot of money to pay for a misbelief or mischaracterized belief in a company. And it also helps in conversations. If you're talking with somebody, you can now pass along this information. Or if they're telling you something that patently isn't true, you can say, hey, that's not true, man. I know that because I watched Coyle Tools videos and he said it's not. No, don't do that. But if you want to point somebody else to this video as a resource, do so because the information is there. You just have to find out. You have to ask the right people. And most of us don't take the time to learn that because, let's face it, that's not what you do. It's what I do, though. That's my business. That's how I stay in business and how I stay profitable and productive, by knowing this information because it helps people make better buying decisions and helps them manage their budgets. And again, if they want to buy Snap-on just because they love their brand, great. But understand where your loyalty is going and how it's placed or misplaced in a particular company. I hope you found this useful. And please do me a favor and pass along the information because it helps us all make better decisions. And keep watching this channel because I've got a number of interesting videos coming down the line that I know you're going to enjoy. We're going to dig more into this particular topic, specifically stuff that's made in the USA and what it means to manufacture, buy, and sell on a global scale in a global economy. And we're going to have some product experts and some people whose area of expertise it is to manufacture in the US. We'll do this stuff live. We'll also have some in-depth conversations about this outside of our live streams. So there's a lot of exciting stuff happening. So do me a favor, click down here now to subscribe so that you don't miss any of it. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, use a tool. Don't be one.